everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your friendly neighborhood naturopathic physician. Welcome to today's edition, the 5th day of April 2012 of Fire Your MD Now. My, oh my, how time flies. I was out in my yard this afternoon pulling up poison ivy. I've got more poison ivy here than I have practically anything else. And I was thinking to myself, musing to myself as I was doing it, what a fantastic medicinal agent poison ivy is. That's right. I said medicinal agent. Now, I have to be careful when I'm around poison ivy. I'm extremely sensitive to it. I've had nasty poison ivy rashes my entire life. But practically, if I'm downwind of the stuff, it's going to affect me. I have to be very, very careful when I'm around it. And most people, when they think about poison ivy, think about a nasty warrior plant that has thorns and has sap in it that's going to create an unbelievably painful, bothersome, itchy, nasty rash, right? That's what most of us think, which is true, and I am a living testament to that. However, there is another side to poison ivy. I bet you didn't even know about it. In the wonderful world of homeopathic medicine, which is much more mainstream on the subcontinent of India, and it's also more mainstream in England and a number of countries in Europe, especially France. Homeopathic medicine uses poison ivy. Poison ivy is probably one of the top 10 homeopathic medicines that are used. Now, it's very interesting because when you take poison ivy, the plant, rip it out of the ground, and put it in some alcohol and extract the chemical solvents, the chemicals in the leaves and in the stem and in the sap. This is how you make a botanical tincture. When you extract the phytochemical ingredients from the poison ivy plant and turn them into a homeopathic medicine, you completely eliminate all of the toxic reactions, you completely eliminate all of the negative side effects, and you have a fantastic therapeutic medicinal agent used for a number of different physical conditions, the most prominent of which is arthritis. Homeopathically prepared poison ivy, believe it or not, it's called Rus toxicodendron. That's fancy schmancy doctor talk for poison ivy. That's just the Latin word for poison ivy. Rus toxicodendron is a fantastic medicine used in the treatment, the homeopathic treatment of poison ivy. Now, the indication for poison ivy, homeopathic poison ivy, homeopathically prepared poison ivy, remember, which is very, very different from the poison ivy plant or even the poison ivy botanical tincture. It's very, very different because you have to take the tincture and then turn that into a homeopathic medicine. It's kind of like taking grapes and turning it into wine, right? Well, wine has a very different effect on your body than grapes do, but nonetheless, that's where it came from. So you have to be careful about these distinctions, especially in the wonderful world of homeopathy. But one of the leading indications for the therapeutic use of homeopathic poison ivy is arthritic pain, which gets worse when the weather starts to change. Isn't that interesting? People who, they're like human barometers, they can sense that the weather's about to change because their joints start to ache. Their arthritic knee starts to go, or their elbows start to ache, or their finger joints start to ache. Wherever the locus and focus of the arthritic condition is in their body, it will start to act up as the barometric pressure changes. It's fascinating. And in these people who have sensitivity to barometric pressure change, to weather, meaning that their arthritis flares up as the weather is changing, as it's changing from nice and sunny to rainy, those people are extremely well benefited by the therapeutic application of homeopathy and homeopathic Rus toxicodendron, homeopathic poison ivy in this case. And by the way, most homeopathic medicines cost between $10 and $15. $10 and $15. And one little tube of homeopathic pellets. The homeopathic medicines are dispensed in small tubes. They look like lipstick containers. and they're about, the size of your pinky finger, size of your index finger, more or less. Inside the little blue tube is about 100 little tiny white medicated pellets. They're about the size of a BB. If you were a BB gun shooter or a ball bearing, that's what they're about the size of. They're tiny little milk sugar pellets that have been impregnated with the homeopathic substance, and it's fantastic. One little tube costs about $10, $10 to $15, depending on where you buy it, is going to last 2-3 months. And it is a fantastic tool to use to help manage the pain of the arthritic condition inexpensively, without side effect, without tearing your liver up, without tearing your kidneys up, without giving you, bankruptcy from the extraordinary cost of all of these ridiculous medicines that the MDs are trying to force down your throat. It will last about 3 months, and it will provide symptomatic pain relief in a non-threatening way. Also, it will facilitate the healing process specifically, while we are addressing the body's inherent nutritional deficiencies. Because it is nutritional deficiencies which drive arthritis. You don't get an arthritic condition. I don't care. I don't care if it's osteoarthritis. I don't care if it's rheumatoid arthritis. I don't care if it's psoriatic arthritis. I don't care what it is. The only exception to this rule is if it's traumatic arthritis. Like you dropped a rock on your foot, or your car ran over your foot, and now you've got joint pain. Well, I would have joint pain too if I dropped a rock on my foot. Notwithstanding traumatic arthritis, every other type of arthritis is caused not by a voodoo curse, not by the aging process, not by a bad gene, but simply because your body has run out of the raw materials that it needs to keep the joints healthy. You've run out of joint juice, basically. And you're unwittingly eating foods which are sucking joint juice out of your body. How about that? That's like a 1-2 punch. That's like kicking somebody when they're down. So you could, anybody in earshot of this radio station, anybody listening to me today, I want you to know, as God is my witness, you could develop a 6-figure-a-year income just helping people in your life to recover from arthritic conditions. What I mean is, we have therapeutics that are science-based, clinically verified, based on millions of dollars of federally funded research and decades of clinical experience, that we will teach you these therapeutics. And what's it going to cost? It's going to cost $10. You're going to have to join our team. There's a $10 entry fee. And then further down the road, once this really starts to take off, there's a $288 bump up. This isn't any bait and switch. You come in for $10, or you come in for $399. 112 of that is in products, so you come in for $10, or you come in for $288. Or you come in for $10 and you upgrade to $288 later. And when you do this, we will teach you, I will teach you personally, Dr. Wallach's health recovery protocols, and I will show you tried and true methods which support and promote the health of joints. Supporting and promoting the healthy joint is one of the main things that we do. It is one of the therapeutic areas that we produce remarkable success with almost 100% of the time. Coretta Scott King was able to march in the Million Man March because Dr. Wallach fixed her arthritic knees. Theo Ratliff just retired from the LA Lakers, one of the oldest, I believe he was the second oldest player in the NBA. 12 years ago was told that his career was over because he had bad knees. Theo Ratliff called Dr. Wallach up, said, "Doc, what do I do?" Doc said, "Stop eating these foods, start eating these foods, take these nutritional supplements." Theo fixed his joints. And between that day and today, I just was talking to Theo Ratliff 4 days ago. He was at the annual longevity convention this year. It was in Orlando, Florida. Theo Ratliff says he has $33 million, 33 million reasons why he should thank Dr. Wallach. 33 million reasons. Because 12, 14 years ago, when his team physicians told him he was done because he has bad knees, bad wrists, he called Dr. Wallach up. Dr. Wallach put him on the joint support, healthy joint recovery program, and guess what? It worked. This is as predictable as gravity, folks. There are tens of millions of people in this country suffering needlessly with arthritis. And you've got tens of thousands of orthopedic physicians drooling, rubbing their hands together, putting together plans for new mansions and new pools and the fifth car that they want to buy, all on the back of your suffering, because they just cannot wait to replace your joints. They just cannot wait to put you under the knife. They just cannot wait to give you one more month's worth of oxycodone, because that's all that they know. Your friends and family members are suffering. They are suffering needlessly. What's it say in the Old Testament? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Well, guess what? Dr. Wallach discovered decades ago science-based, clinically verified methods to support and promote the health of joints. And we will teach you these methods. They're easy. If you can pass a driver's license test, you can learn how to do this. It's not rocket science. And we need you to spread this word, spread this message of health recovery through nutrition as quickly and as rapidly and as deeply as possible. And guess what? Every time you turn someone in your life onto health recovery, joint recovery through nutrition, you get paid. In a very short amount of time, if you put your nose to the grindstone, for goodness sake, it's not even a grindstone. If you just talk to us, learn these health recovery methods, you're going to be very wealthy, and you will have helped hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of people to come back to the land of health. Healing is easy, ladies and gentlemen. Don't believe the direct-to-consumer pharmaceutical ads. You don't have arthritis because you have a Vioxx deficiency. Happy Thursday, everybody. We are back. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your friendly neighborhood naturopath, and we're going to go right to the phones right now. Carol in Huntington Beach is calling. How's it going, Carol?
Pretty well, thank you. I had to have an x-ray about a month ago, and they found something suspicious in the lung. They're pretty vague about it. They didn't know if it was not a mass or a tumor. They said it was an inflammation, something like that, or possibly even a cyst. Of course, they wanted me to have the CT scan, which I did not do.
Good girl.
But I want to know what I should do health-wise. I got your 8 foods that you mentioned on a radio program we heard yesterday. I have other issues, diabetes, high blood pressure.
Okay, so line it up for me, Carol. You've got type 2 diabetes?
Yes.
You got high blood pressure. How do you know you have high blood pressure?
Just from taking the blood pressure.
Okay.
Last year I had an occurrence with a runaway heart.
Yeah.
And even once the blood pressure, the higher number went down, the pulse wouldn't go below 187, so I had to go to emergency. So that's when the blood pressure fiasco started.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Do you have any root canals or fake teeth that have been pulled?
Years ago, yes.
Okay. And how about your knees and your joints and your elbows and how are your joints feel?
This year, I've experienced some discomfort from arthritis.
Okay, so you're going to want to write all this down because this is fascinating, and I could talk about all of your stuff for the entire remainder of the show. Now, I'm not going to do that, ladies and gentlemen. But here's the deal. From the holistic perspective, of course, everything is connected, and we've gotten used to, in this country, being treated reductionistically because your MD, your drug doctor, is trained in a reductionistic methodology. Naturopathic physicians, chiropractors, and homeopaths are trained in a holistic methodology, and they are night and day. They're 180 degrees apart. Reductionists separate everything and give one medicine for each piece. So you get one medicine for your blood pressure, one medicine for your arthritis, one medicine for your runaway heart, one medicine for your high blood pressure, one medicine for your type 2 diabetes, maybe 2 medicines for your type 2 diabetes, right? That's how they do it. We don't do it that way. Because from the holistic perspective, the human body is a complex system of interrelated parts, and everything fits together and everything is connected. So rather than do a lot of expensive, dangerous diagnostic tests. By the way, good girl for refusing the CT scan. The CT scan, one CT scan, depending on the facility that administers it, delivers approximately 23 times the amount of radiation that one chest x-ray does, 23 times. Most of the times, hospitals and doctors prescribe CT scans to pad the bill, because medicine is a for-profit industry in the United States, and, you know, the hospital heads the CT machine. It costs millions of dollars. They have to pay for it. And most hospitals give doctors a little bit of a kickback when they prescribe a CT scan or when they prescribe an MRI or when they prescribe an X-ray. Different hospitals have different policies about that. But, you know, whether the kickback happens or not, the CT scan is done not because it's a necessary therapeutic agent, but because they're trying to pad the bill. And I absolutely positively recommend all of my patients to 100% of the time refuse CT scans. The only time I'm okay with a CT scan is if there's been trauma to your head, massive trauma to your head, you're unconscious, or you don't even have to be unconscious. If you've really hit your head hard, sometimes a CT scan can show that there's bleeding in there, and then, you know, you can die from that suddenly. The only other time I recommend a CT scan is if you're bleeding internally and they can't find the cause of it. But 99.9% of the time, CT scans are bad, and they're only used to pad the bill. Now, don't worry, we only have a minute left in this segment, Carol, so I'm going to start explaining what we're going to do for you, and then we'll pick it up after the break if you can stick around. Can you stick around?
Yes, of course.
Okay, very good. So, from our point of view, high blood pressure and the runaway heartbeat, and the arthritis are different arms of the same octopus. And they all go back to calcium and magnesium deficiencies. Type 2 diabetes is a multiple mineral deficiency. It's not just calcium and magnesium. It's a whole bunch of minerals, including calcium and magnesium. It's more of a complex 27 mineral package deal type of a deficiency. The reason that all of these things have shown up in your life is simply because your body has run out of the raw materials to maintain healthy blood sugars. It's run out of the raw materials to maintain healthy joints, and you're starting to get degenerative disc disease. That's probably what's causing the runaway heart. But fear not, Dr. Peter Glidden has a solution. We're still talking to Carol from Huntington Beach, California, about a number of things. Carol, you still with me?
Yes, we can add hypothyroidism to that.
Why not? Let's have a party. See, this is the problem, right? This is you are a microcosm of the entire country. And chronic multiple illnesses, just like you have, are so common and so rampant that when we look around, what do we see? We see, holy smokes, everybody's sick. Why is everybody sick? Everybody's sick because everybody has been going to MDs. All of the things that you have, with the possible exception of maybe 30 to 50% of the thyroid problem, are simple nutrient deficiencies. But MDs have no training in nutrients. They don't have any training in clinical nutrition. They certainly don't have any respect for it. They don't have any clinical experience with it. They don't go to nutritional conferences. All they know is drugs. It's drugs and surgery 24/7. Drugs and surgery all the time, all the time, all the time. And MDs really, I have a lot of used to be friends who, I was in pre-med with, and they went on to medical school. And the problem with the medical education of MDs in the country is that it's such a meat grinder that the student will come out with his or her medical degree, their MD degree, and actually believe that if they weren't taught it in medical school, it's not valid. They are the most closed-minded, intractable, scientifically chauvinistic people I've ever met, and it is the reason that everybody is sick, because the people that monopolize the medical theater in the United States are completely incapable of helping us to heal. They can manage the problem, and that's what they do. MDs don't practice healthcare, they practice disease management. So good for you for calling this show and taking a step outside of your comfort zone. So here we go. Here's what we're going to do. Now, again, you don't have to worry about writing stuff down, because everything that I talk about on the show, well, most of the things I talk about on the show are posted and, referenced at fireyourmdnow.com. So you want to bookmark that website, fireyourmdnow.com. And right there on the front page, I have the Good Food, Bad Food document in a PDF form. You can just click on it and download it. I've got a lot of interesting factoids on my website. I have a really great video that I put together called Against the Grain. It explains why wheat, barley, rye, and oats are bad. So, this is my way of reaffirming my oath that I took in 1991 to educate people. When you look up the root cause, the root word of doctor, it's teacher. I go a long way towards educating people about things that, they don't know about health. So a lot of the stuff I talk about on the show you can reference 24/7 at fireyourmdnow.com. So that's where you can download a PDF of how to take the nutritional supplements, how to take the Beyond Tangy Tangerine that Alex Jones loves, and how to take a lot of the supplements that we recommend. So for your conditions, what we're going to do is provide a comprehensive nutrition program which supports and promotes healthy blood sugar, healthy heart, healthy blood pressure, and healthy joints. And really, that sounds like a gargantuan task, but because all of these things are connected in a holistic fashion, it's really not that difficult. So the first thing you need to do, you've already done. You need to download that list, get a hold of the list, and completely stop eating. I don't even want you to look at the foods that are on the bad food list. Okay, so those just got to go. Stop eating those 9 foods yesterday. Dial in the gluten-free, oil-free, no-fried food diet. You're going to love how you feel, number 1. Number 2, what's your approximate body weight, Carol? How much do you weigh these days?
I'm almost 100 pounds overweight.
Yeah, well, that goes along with the cause. On tomorrow's show, tune in tomorrow, because I'm going to devote the entire thing to weight loss. And let me tell you, I and my colleagues, especially Dr. Wallach, have the key to weight loss that not even Oprah knows. And I'm just going to dangle this one. I'm going to dangle this carrot in front of the horse right now. Obesity is a deficiency disease. It is not a disease of excess. It is a deficiency disease. It is not a disease of excess. So tune in tomorrow, folks. We're going to talk all about weight loss. Or I guess it'll be, tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Good Friday. Okay, so, well, if you're 100 pounds overweight, what are you tipping the scales at these days?
240.
240? Okay, and I ask that not to be mean or cruel, but because we dose the nutritional supplements appropriate for body weight, right? I mean, it only makes sense that someone who's 200 pounds is going to need a little bit more than someone who's 100 pounds. Someone who's 150 pounds is going to need a little bit more than someone who's 75 pounds, and we're the only people that are doing that. That really blew my mind when I figured that out. When I started mentoring with Dr. Wallach, he was dosing everything appropriate for body weight, and I'd never done that. And I'd been in clinical practice for 20 years, and I'd never done that. Most people don't do it, but when you start dosing nutrition based on body weight, that's one of our secrets. That's one of the reasons why we get such remarkable results. So in my perfect world, I have no idea what your budget is, okay? So I'm going to outline my perfect program for health recovery for somebody who has the conditions that you told me at 240 pounds. If you can't afford the entire boat, knock it down, and I'll tell you how to do that shortly. So here we go. Per month, I want you to purchase and start to use 2 healthy blood sugar packs. That's 2 healthy blood sugar packs. 3 bottles of glucogel at the 240 count. 3 bottles of liquid plant minerals. And 1 bottle of OsteoFX Plus. OsteoFX Plus. And I'm going to have you do 3 bottles of selenium. 3 bottles of selenium. So let me run through that again. 2 healthy blood sugar packs. 3 bottles of glucogel at the 240 count. 3 bottles of liquid plant minerals, 1 bottle of Osteo FX Plus, and 3 bottles of selenium. Now, if you can't afford all of that, do 1 healthy blood sugar pack, 2 glucogel, 240, 2 liquid plant minerals, and 3 selenium. If you can't afford that, do 1 healthy blood sugar pack, 2 glucogel, 2 liquid plant minerals, 1 Osteo FX, and 1 selenium. I'm pretty sure you can afford that. And really understand that we are one of the only nutrient supplement companies in the world that delivers science-based, clinically verified formulations developed by a Nobel Prize-nominated naturopathic physician with over 30 years of clinical experience who has sued the FDA for certified qualified health claims and who have a program in place to help you afford the supplements, get the supplements for free, and even actually make money into the bargain, turning your friends and family and church members and community members onto our supplement program. The financial program that we have is unmatched by any other company. You really need to take a look at that if finances are burdensome here, because not only are we lifting people up into health, but we're also lifting people up into wealth. So take those supplements, and you can also download information at my website or send me a little email once you purchase the stuff, and I'll tell you how to take the supplements. It's really very easy to do. And what you should experience once you clean your diet up and start to fill your tank up nutritionally is slow and steady improvement across the board. The first thing that's going to get better, well, it's going to be neck and neck between the blood sugar and the blood pressure. So while you're engaging with the nutrition program, you need to be measuring your blood pressure, you need to be measuring your blood sugar, because as God is my witness, they will start to come down. And as they come down, you have to go back to your knucklehead drug doctor, and you need to tell them, hey, look, you know, my numbers are getting better, I need you to reduce the meds that I'm on. And son of a gun, they're going to do that. And so you just keep going back to them every 2, 3, 4 weeks as the numbers come down. They'll reduce the prescriptions more and more and more until you're off of the blood sugar medicine, you're off of the high blood pressure medicine, and you're able to reduce and then finally stop the joint medicine, if you're on any, for pain or for inflammation, because this program will support and promote healthy joints, support and promote healthy blood sugar, support and promote healthy blood sugar and blood pressure. And what we lean on here, the reason that we exist, the reason that we are here in the first place, even though we're under this massive amount of jackbooted thuggery pressure from the conventional medical institute, is because our stuff works. That's what we lean on. You should be experiencing specific and measurable, noticeable change in 3 to 4 week intervals, okay? So I want you to start this program. Give me a call back in about 3 or 4 weeks with an update, and I'll tune this in for you, fine-tune it for you. And you can purchase all of these supplements at the wholesale price at fireyourmdnow.com. Fireyourmdnow.com. Go on that website, check it out. It's going to be a little easier to browse that shopping cart next week. It's a little cumbersome right now, but you can do it. You're a smart girl. You can figure it out. Go to that website, and at fireyourmdnow.com, we also have information there about how you can join us, if you want to join us, to help spread our message of health recovery through medical nutrition to your community. Does that sound good?
Yes. Also, I'm taking Sambucus for the cough.
Yeah, Sambucus. That's homeopathic Sambucus. You're having a cough. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, I had worked into pneummonia.
Yeah.
That's why I did the X-ray in the first place.
Yeah. Okay. So they gave you antibiotics for the pneumonia. Is the pneumonia gone?
As far as I know, I haven't been back.
Yeah, okay. So do you still have a chronic and persistent cough?
This Sambucus seems like it's really helping.
Yeah, okay. So once you add the nutrients to the homeopathic Sambucus, it's going to be 1,000 times better. And this is one of the secrets to homeopathic success that a lot of my colleagues don't know. For 10 years, longer, for 15 years, I was a dyed-in-the-wool classical homeopath, and that's all that I did with my patients. I know homeopathy in and out, and I studied with one of the most experienced homeopaths in the United States, Andrew Lang, out of Boulder, Colorado. I know a lot about homeopathy, and when you combine homeopathy with mineral nutrition, the homeopathic protocols work 1,000 times better. And this is one of the pieces of the homeopathic holistic pie that my colleagues are missing. And, you know, holistic doctors aren't really any better than conventional doctors because everybody's a little pig-headed, right? Everybody holds on to their beliefs in kind of a tooth-and-nail fashion. We're all a little too dogmatic for our own good most of the time. You know, you got to do what you got to do. My point here, Carol, is the only reason you've been suffering from all of these conditions collectively is because your body has run out of the stuff it needs to keep your joints healthy, keep your heart healthy, keep your blood sugar healthy, keep your blood pressure healthy, keep your thyroid healthy. And the last thing I want to tell you about the thyroid, go to a chiropractor, have them do a sideways x-ray of your neck and see if your neck is on your body straight. Most of my patients who have a thyroid condition, the curve in their neck is not correct. If the curve in the neck is not correct, your thyroid's never going to be right, even with all the nutrition in the world. So go to a good chiropractor, get that checked out, get those supplements, get back your health. It is crazy weather, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2012. There are asteroids somewhere. What is going on? What did the Mayans know? Oh, my God, what's going to happen? Probably nothing, but you never know. Well, I tell you one thing that's going to happen. People are going to continue to suffer because they've taken the wrong dog for the hunt. Metaphorically speaking, that is. They've gone to the wrong doctor. I mean, if you had a plumbing problem, you're not going to call your electrician. All right? It's the wrong guy for the job. If you're trying to find a lost child in the wilderness, you're not going to do that with a chihuahua. It's the wrong dog for the hunt. Bringing your body to an MD for help getting over a chronic health condition is a fool's errand. Stop it. Just stop doing it. Tune into this radio station, get sourced with our information, take your health back, build up a little wealth into the bargain. You're going to love how you feel. You're going to love what happens to your pocketbook. Life will get very, very good. Now we have Justin on the line from New York with back pain. Justin, are you with me?
Yep.
Justin, hello. Your last name isn't Time, is it, Justin?
No, but I've never heard that one before, actually.
So, hey, thanks for calling, man. How can I help you?
No, I was just talking about back pain and why people go to the doctor for their lower back pain. And just, I had some back pain issues, so I go to the doctor, and it's one of these, like, urgent care centers, and you get just pushed to the side because, at least in this office and a couple other ones around town, apparently, they just kind of assume that you're there looking for medication.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that's the main reason why people are visiting the doctor for lower back pain.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because, there are some people that are gaming the system. And the system is not what you see on TV. You see on TV all of these nice nursing attendants who are all well-adjusted, and everybody is kind, and everybody is compassionate, and everybody is caring, and everybody's looking out for the patient. That's not the way that it is at all. For goodness sake, if anybody did a reality show like Cops, for doctors, it'd be horrible. And everybody would stop going to the MD because it is exactly the opposite of what we see on TV. And for goodness sake, even when you do have a legitimate concern, oh my God, I really do have back pain, or oh my God, my blood pressure's through the roof, or oh my God, I've got a blinding occipital migraine, it's bad, man, and you go to the ER, it's not a pretty happy experience, and they are going to use you like an ATM. And
that's what's funny. I just maybe it's a little off topic, but I just had a baby recently, and my wife got me watching all the Business of Giving Birth in America documentaries and all these other things, and it's like I was scared out of my mind going to the hospital because they treat just we got a bill because they forgot to bill our insurance, and all these things that they threw on there were just like, I mean, they gave my baby, an EKG or, and all these other things. It was just like, it's a business.
It is a business. It's a for-profit business, and, people need to understand that when they're walking through the door. Just to walk through the door of the hospital, it's going to cost you $1,000, $1,500. It's a gigantic problem. And 6 weeks ago, there was a woman in Miami. Yeah, I'm going to post this on my website next week. There was a woman in Miami. She was Filipino nationality. She was a nationalized U.S. citizen, but she didn't speak a lot of English. She went to the hospital to give birth, right? She goes to the hospital to give birth. The doctor cuts her arms and legs off. The doctor cut her arms and legs off because the guy was gorked out of his mind on prescription drugs. And he didn't go to jail. And he's still working at the hospital, and this is what happens. Now, this is the exception to the rule, but it happened.
Well, even in our case, I mean, my wife, we wanted to go bed-free 100%. We're into it 5 hours, and we want a Pitocin, we want to do a C-sec. There's nothing wrong. And they're just trying to sell you all these things off of a menu. It's like you're driving through McDonald's and they got this menu of, you want a drip of Pitocin?
Justin, you're the smartest man in class. Go to fireatyourmdnow.com for more information. You sound like someone who's on the curve with us here. There's a lot of stuff we teach that you don't know. So use my website as a resource. Come and join my team. Join my health recovery team, man. I need people just like you because we are all in this together. And remember what Ben Franklin said, ladies and gentlemen, we better hang together or most certainly we'll hang alone. I am Dr. Peter Glidden. See you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.